Hey everyone, welcome to How to Be Fancy. I'm Heather and today we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. I purchased this little lovely hairpiece off of eBay, I believe, for about $8, and because it is synthetic hair, I wanted to see if I can dye it to match my green hair, which you can't see right now, but it is kind of a jade green color, and I want to use alcohol inks today to see if we can dye this. So many vintage girls use those type of hair pieces to create really quick and easy poodle hairstyles on the everyday, which is something I am looking for, so I thought I would give this a shot since you cannot find fantasy colors in hair pieces most of the time. And you also can't find these little babies in natural hair so that you can just use regular hair dye on them. So today we're going to use the alcohol inks because they are one of the few things that will absorb into the synthetic fibers of this hairpiece. So hopefully it will work, fingers crossed. Let's see what we can do. As far as items that you'll need, you will need a little hairpiece like this. It's basically just a weft of curls on 2 hair clips or combs, depending on which piece that you find. Again, I got mine on eBay. I think it was just over $8. Make sure that you get a blonde color because you're going to want something light enough to absorb the color you're going for. Next up, you'll need some alcohol inks. I just picked mine up from Michael's. They were about $8 and I had a 50% off coupon, so $4 for this set of 3. Today I'm going to be using the green color and the blue color to hopefully somewhat match the jade color that I've got going on in my hair right now. You're also going to need some rubbing alcohol. I don't have too much left here, but I'm hoping because I don't need to do a huge piece of hair that this will be enough to get us through. An empty spray bottle, a pair of gloves, and make sure that you have a bunch of things to protect your surface area from staining. To test out my color, I'm just going to spritz it onto a clean paper towel. And I can tell I'm going to need a much darker color, so I'm going to just be adding in probably the rest of this little bottle of ink. Adding in about half of the bottle of blue, and then we'll test that. You can see that's a much darker color now. I'm going to start spraying this into the hair. And working it in with my fingers. Make sure that you do this in a well-ventilated area because you will be inhaling a little bit of alcohol. Make sure you get down all the way as close to the root as you can. And then I want it to fold the little clips back. Just get a little bit of this on those. Once this has soaked up as much color as I think it's going to for the minute, I am going to let it dry. I'm going to put mine in a plastic bag just because I have to leave and I don't want any little critters getting to it. But I'm going to let it dry for a few hours and then I will come back and rinse it out. Okay, so I let this hairpiece sit for about 3 or 4 hours. Just in that little plastic bag, and then I pulled it out of the plastic bag and rinsed it off. Any of the additional dye came out, and I left it to dry overnight. You can see it turned this really pretty kind of mossy sage jade green, but obviously I'm going to need it to be a little bit darker. So what I'm going to try is another round of alcohol dyes. I went and got some more last night. This version is lettuce, which is another green color here. And I also picked up this shade. It's called Eggplant. It was in the package. I thought it was blue in the store. Turns out it's a little bit more purple, so I'll probably use a little bit less, but I still will need a little bit of that just because I need the darkness to kind of saturate that green color. I had about a quarter of that original mixture left, and to that I've just added enough alcohol to kind of fill up about half of the bottle. I want to try and dilute this a little bit less than what I did yesterday. And then I'm gonna take the green, just put the whole thing in. I think we've learned our lesson on that. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of the eggplant color. I'm just gonna do a quarter of this to start off with because I don't want to ruin anything. There we go. So I'm gonna add even a little bit more of that purple in. And we're gonna try for that. If you're really worried about this, you could always test this color on the back side and all that jazz, but I don't have that kind of patience. So what I'm hoping for is that by putting this over the top of the green, we're gonna get an even deeper color. So this is about as fully saturated as I can get this little piece. It definitely went a little more ashy than I was hoping for, but because I was using that purple, I kind of expected that, but hopefully it will still work out. I'm gonna let this sit again for another few hours and dry, and I will show you the finished piece. So here is the final product. It has been dyed, it has dried, it's actually been worn. Surprise, surprise, I'm filming this a little bit later. As you can see, the color is nice and even. The curls are still here because we have not used any heat on them, so they've been able to retain their shape. Overall, it's a pretty quick and painless process. Here is the finished little green pompadour in action. Stay tuned to my next videos where I'll show you how to get a few different looks out of this one little hair piece. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hope that it was helpful. Leave me a comment down below letting me know if it was helpful to you, what other hairstyles you would like to see from little old me. I'm happy to do those for you. If you need more of me before next week, you can always find me on social media at How to Be Fancy, absolutely everywhere. I would love to see you over there. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.